Okay, I'm not sure where that last video cut off, but what we were going to be doing was resizing column G, and so this time we wanted to make it an exact column width. So I have just selected column G by clicking on the G at the top, put my cursor where I get my double-headed arrow, and whenever I hold down my mouse button, it will tell me the exact width of the column. We want this one to be 10 point, sorry, I lost it. 10.25 or somewhere really close to that. Looks like 10.22 is all I can get. Okay, the next one, we're going to click on column C. Oops. Column C, and while holding my control key, I'm also going to select column D. Oops, C, control, column D, and column H, because we want these to all be the same width also. And on this one, we're going to drag it until it is 7.5. So I'm just going to put my mouse on the edge of column H and then go till I am 7.5. Or somewhere really close to that. Okay? It should all fit in there. If you've used a different theme or a different font, you may have to make it a little bit wider. Make sure that you don't have any of those number signs or hashtags showing. Okay, now we're going to do column E. Oh, sorry. Column F and I. So select column F, hold down control, do column I, and we want these to be 10.5. So as close to 10.5 as you can get. Okay, not very often are you going to ever resize your columns in this way, but it's important to know in case you do need to make a column wider. For example, if you're printing something for some reason and you want someone to be able to write into a cell, you're going to want to make the cell as wide as what you think it should be, so you would use the drag method of doing that. But typically the easiest way is just to make the column the width that fits it best. And sometimes you may want to make all of your number columns the exact same width, so you could use this method for that one. Okay, row height. You can also increase or decrease the height of a row. Remember, rows go across, and we can do that to bring emphasis to things. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, here we have row 3, and we're going to drag down with the double-headed arrow until we get to 48. This is our title or our heading row for our columns, and just get as close to 48 as you can. So we wanted to make that nice and big and really stand out. Oh, I've lost one of my words. I must have accidentally typed something while I was in there, and that looks like it was net pay, so I'll just put that back. Okay. The next one we're going to adjust is going to be row 14. And we're going to drag row 14 until it is 27. You may be wondering why we're doing row 14 where it has the highest instead of doing our total row. Because what we really wanted to do was just give a little extra space between our totals and the word highest. And by making highest taller, then that brought it down a little bit more. Okay, go ahead and hit save. We don't want to lose anything. We learned in the first chapter that Excel does not underline things with the red wavy line when it's misspelled like Word did. But it does have a spell checker that you can use. And so you should always, before you turn things in, use the spell checker. And so we're going to do the spell checker here. So I'm going to go to cell A3 where it has employee. And I'm going to purposely misspell this word. So I'm going to spell out, and I want you to do this too, E-M-P-O-L-Y-E-E, and hit tab. Okay? The word employee is now misspelled. However, Excel is not giving you any indication that that has happened. So now we're going to start the spell checker. So we're going to go to the Review tab, and we have the spelling button. We'll click on it. It's going to come up, and it's going to give us lots of items because we have lots of odd names over here that are not real common. And so it's going to think all these are misspelled. So when you come to one that is somebody's name, you're just going to hit the ignore once or ignore all. I typically ignore it all. I know it's only in our document once, so you could do once, but I'm going to do ignore all. And go through and just double check everything. You might want to double check, make sure you did spell them correctly. When it gets to the bottom of the sheet, it's going to say, do you want to continue checking from the beginning of the sheet? Always hit yes, because we didn't start in cell A1, so it only started from the cell we were at. So go ahead and hit yes. It thinks hypermass is wrong, that it should have a space. It is actually correct, so we're going to hit ignore all. If this was your business that you ran, you would probably add this to the dictionary, so it was always correct. Here's where we get to the employee. It says employee is not correct. Which one do you want? Well, we want the one that is correct, which is E-M-P-L-O-Y-E-E, and I'm just going to hit change. It says spell check is complete. You're good to go. Okay, so it did not do it for us automatically. It did not alert us to anything misspelled, but you do need to run your spell checker at the end. Okay, we're going to now look at changing the worksheet's margins, header, and orientation in the page layout view. So we've done some things in the page layout view before and changed the orientation, but now we're going to work on the margins and the header. When you're working in Excel, I find it very, very important to always use a header or footer. That way you're sure of what it is that you're looking at. And I just noticed that some of my things here are not centered, which I thought we did that earlier. So I'm just going to, if yours are not centered, go ahead and do this also. I'm going to highlight the titles that are in row 3, go to my Home tab, and I'm just going to hit my regular center button to center those words in the columns. Okay, that's much better. So back to the layout view. So we're going to go to Page Layout button. And here we're going to, we've got several different things we can do. The first thing we're going to do is we want to change our margins. So I'm going to hit the margin button. And it gives me some very basic ones. There's a normal, there's a wide, and there is a narrow. I can also create my own custom margins. But for this one, we're going to take the narrow margin style. Okay, you didn't really see much happen. However, if you notice, you should have a little dashed line over here. That is showing you where the edge of your paper is. So if I was to print this the way it is right now, column J with the hire date is not going to be on the same page as the rest of my information, and that would be bad. So even though I've made my margins narrow, so I'm going to go to cell A6. Oh, it just says to tap somewhere, sorry. Go to cell A1. Okay, I see what we're doing. Sorry, I got confused there. Here we're going to put in our header. So to do a header, we're just going to go, okay, so we're ready to put in our header. And what we're going to do is we want to, right now we're looking at it not in a print layout view. So down here at the bottom on your green status bar, we're actually in normal view. If you go over to the next one, it's page layout view. So go ahead and click the page layout view. This is actually going to show you your pieces of paper for your Excel spreadsheet. And here you can really see that this looks awkward because it's going on to the second page. So we're going to put a header in. You'll notice your header is either a left aligned, right aligned, or center. We're going to click in the center box. And this is how easy it is to hit insert a header. You just click in it. And we're going to type the information we want. We're going to type, I want you to type your name here. I'm going to type what the book has, which is John Simon. But if you would just go ahead and type your name, that way your name is on the report. Press enter, and you are the Chief Financial Officer. Okay, so that inserts that into our header. So we're just going to go back down into our document. You can see this is on the header. It's on the header on both pages. So back to my page layout tab. Something very obvious you guys have probably figured out already is this is portrait, and because it doesn't all fit, why don't we just make it landscape? So we're going to go to our orientation button and choose landscape, which is going to make it all fit on one page. Then to print, we would just go to File, Print, and you're going to actually see your print preview here. We're not really going to print. So, but make sure that you've changed all those settings. Make sure you double check your print preview and make sure it looks okay. So I'm going to go back to my document. Sometimes you just want to print part of your spreadsheet. You don't necessarily need the whole thing. For example, whenever I did my grade book, I might only need all my students' names and their final grades so that I could enter that into their permanent records. So on this one, we're going to save paper because we only want to print a portion of the worksheet, not the whole thing. And we want to print cells A3, starting with the employee name, over through column E, and down through row 16. So really all we're wanting is the employees, their names, their dependents, hours worked, hourly rate, gross pay, and the average, highest, and lowest for all of those. And so if this is the area we want to print, we don't need everything else, so you're just going to select it on your, see if they've changed this from the old version. Then I'm just going to go to File, Print. And instead of printing active sheet, I'm going to click on that one and do Print Selection, which is only going to print that selection that I want. I could print this, but I don't want to, so I want you guys just to leave it like that one. Go back. And we're going to then, another way we can print is to print just our formulas. So if we want to print just the formulas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press. Some other things that we can do when we are changing how we print things is with the formulas. So we're going to press Control on your keyboard and the accent mark. The accent mark is located right beside your number 1. And it should show you all your formulas. Oh, there it worked. I wasn't pressing hard enough. Okay, so it does make it a little bit wider, but I can actually see all your formulas that are here. So this is one way I could have you print things and turn it in so that I could see the formulas. However, just turning in your Excel sheet is fine with me. The next thing we're going to do is we would want to fit this all to one page. So I would go to my File, Print, and I would change it to, for my scaling, from no scaling to fit on one page. And we've lost things. Oh, because I only had print current selection. So we would print the entire, print the active sheet here to see everything on that. Okay, you can also then change it back to 100% if you want, which is down here. You would just go back to no scaling. And take it back. Okay, so that is it for Chapter 2. You're going to have a project you're going to do on your own. You're going to be creating your own grade book. So I do have a video kind of walking you through how to get started, but I expect you to be able to do this on your own. You're going to draw it out. You're going to plan it, and then put in all your formulas and your information. So good luck with that, and I'll see you in the next video.